This episode is brought to you by the RVA Podcast Network. Find more information at rvapodcast.org.
We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such.
Welcome to season 6 of The Pass, BT. Didn't think we'd get here, but here we are. Show going a bit of a different direction, as you may have noticed near the end of season 5. Sports is still a thing, but not as much. You'll get more information about what's going on in the tech world, what's going on in the music world. We actually have kind of gotten rid of Ass of the Week. Once in a while, you may get one here and there, but I still want to stick with the main gist of passing the message to you all. So take your time, but don't waste your time as you sit and enjoy a new season of The Pass with your host, BT. What's up, y'all? How's everyone doing? Episode 345 of The Pass is here. This is a bit of an impromptu episode, but I wanted to sit down and record this while I had an opportunity. So when an opportunity knocks, you got to enter. So here we are. As you can see by the title, this is not going to be one of your typical everyday topics. This is not going to be very tech related. It's not going to be music, sports, or gaming related. This is going to be some real life, real talk, authentic conversation. And the reason I'm unpacking this or talking about it the way I am is because it's something that I've thought about, but been trying to find the right way to talk about it. And I feel like I need to take advantage of the space that I have or the platform that I have to do this, because a lot of times we are given an opportunity to do something, but we really don't do it to the best of our ability. And that's something that I can definitely say where I'm at, and with all that's been going on with me the last couple of months, that's been my number one priority, is just to work on being better with showing up and showing out. All right, I want to make sure that because I'm all about context, I'm all about content. I want, as I've been learning to do better, perspective, unpack, don't make it what it isn't and talk about what it is. And of course, as y'all are known for telling me or me reminding myself, get to the point. So, title, misogyny or misogynistic. What does the word or the term misogyny means? It is a hatred of, contempt for, or prejudice against women. It's a form of sexism that keeps women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. It's been widely practiced for thousands of years. It is reflected in art, literature, human, societal structure, historical events, mythology, philosophy, and religion worldwide. So, Brian, why are you talking about misogyny or having a misogynistic conversation on your podcast? A few days ago, I mentioned to someone that I do a podcast. And in the process of telling them that, their immediate response was, "Oh, I know how it goes whenever guys get together and do a podcast, or if a guy has a podcast, it's automatically going to be about bashing women or degrading the roles of a woman." And to play devil's advocate, my podcast is the exact opposite. I'm more on the side of uplifting and empowerment. I feel like I personally can say without a shadow of a doubt that the rooms that I'm in with the people who have the skill sets that they have look like knowledgeable, well-versed women. And for me personally, that is something I value very heavily. As a tech guy, majority of my connections or majority of the people who I've talked with about IT or computers have been women. And they've been more open and supportive in telling me or giving me the confidence of, hey, if this is what you're trying to do and you want to do it and do it to the best of your ability. And that's been my unscripted, unintended, productive, and honest mantra for the last couple of years. And it's interesting because I've been in a position now to be able to pay it forward to others who are looking to come into IT that are women or that are people in general. But I want to see anyone and everyone who thinks that it's something they may be interested in to join, because it is that type of a lane. Many of my friends have interest in or are wanting to do podcasts. They're women. I'm not in a position of gatekeeping to say, no, you can't do a podcast because podcasts are mostly for guys. It's like, no, if you want to do a podcast, I'm here to support you. I'm here to tell you what I did. I'm here to tell you what I did right. I'm here to tell you what I did wrong. I'm here to help you succeed at that feat, because I think I personally can say without a shadow of a doubt, that is what helped me become more comfortable with doing it. And here we are, like obviously 345 episodes later. But I'm really honing in on these thoughts or these feelings about this, because it's tough when you have the Fresh and Fits, the Kevin Samuels, I don't know if he's in this category, but the Joe Rogans, and I'm not name dropping. So if anyone listens to this and think, oh wait, don't put him in this category, or why would you name such a person? All well and good, total respect. No, not here to cause any rift or any harm. Just making general conversation and just offering a raw perspective. All I'm gonna say, or I've said plenty about this, more than I want to, but I wanted to address it while it was on my mind and on my heart. But it's mainly to say, and one of my followers, or as she terms it, mutuals on TikTok, said it best. Brothers, we got to do better in supporting and uplifting our women. And I mean, if I'm saying it from my perspective of where I'm at about it, we got to do a better job of looking out and making spaces open for women of color. Anyone who knows me or knows about it, in February, so March is Women's History Month. And I think that's why I'm big on this. That might be why this topic is kind of sticking with me a little bit too. It's Women's History Month. So for February, I did Black History Month, and I kind of did a half and half. Half of the month, I pointed out different women who were in the tech, or different people who were in the tech world. I was definitely trying to get more women. I was excited, and I was glad that I had two people who I personally knew who do and are active coders. And it pushed me to learn more with coding, which I'm gonna get into that a little bit, and then kind of talk about my environment, which leads us to why this podcast is being recorded. But it was just good to learn about different companies who support minorities coding, or minorities in general, in the tech world. But yeah, I feel like it is so bad that people really categorize it or block it off as the world wouldn't be where it is because men are the reason why the world go round, or it's like things that people support and back. It's so hard for me to really quote unquote ride their wave or really hear what they saying, because it's literally all bullshit and it's just so bad. But and I'm not laughing to make light of it. I'm laughing just because it's so mind blowing how, as a lot of people call it, how 10 toes down, or how down for the cause a lot of people are regarding it. But to each his own. My platform, I say all of that to say my platform will be a better space and a better place for people who are women to feel open in dialogue. I kind of, well, I ain't gonna say kind of, I dropped the ball in March for it, but I also had stuff going on which will kind of tie into the next point of the title and everything. But give me, let me rock through April. May, I've already reached out to, for the month of May, I've already reached out to a couple of people, but I'm really making this an open request on the podcast. If you're looking to come on to talk about anything, it does not have to be sports. It does not have to be tech. It does not have to be music. It could be whatever you want to talk about. It could be about business. It could be about entrepreneurship. I want to break. I personally have a very strong goal of looking at this podcast and really emphasizing the importance of stuff. If you've noticed, it's March Madness. I haven't talked a lick of basketball. Like, to say what I was saying, my bracket is top tier trash, but that's another story. But I'm saying, what I'm referring to is just, I really want to get more into the stuff that's going on in the world, like the real things that are going on. I'm not sitting there saying I want to hop on politics and get into all that stuff, but I'm just saying it as talking about people's lives and what a day in the life of said person looks like and how that goes, or how good it could be or how bad it could be. So I'm opening that as an invite. The past BT pod at gmail.com. Please reach out. And really, if you're really reaching out and saying that you want to be on the show, by all means, like, you'd be surprised. Most people who have been on my show, it's so funny to me because I always love having this conversation or talking about it. I'm literally like the first person they've been on a podcast with, or if they've sat with me and done a show, it's like, this is my first time sitting down and ever doing a podcast. Like, I've listened to podcasts, but to actually do a podcast is a much different thing. And it is like the seat or the role changes from when you're listening to a show, critiquing, kikiing, laughing, breaking it down and discussing it, versus you being the person who has to come up with the topics. Like, for me, it's so fun because I'll say this and then I'll go into my next topic. It's so interesting because when I talk with people, they usually have a general idea of most of the questions that I'm going to ask. But what makes it fun is that now I've gotten very well versed or very comfortable where I can make it very comfortable without the complications of, well, we're going to go by this script where we're going to ask these specific questions. Like, I can drop a follow-up in with different questions. Or when someone gives an answer, my biggest thing that I love doing or have started, I think when I had Lex on a couple years ago, she was on the show, and that's where I started to learn and use the term of unpacking, or like, that's a layered question or a loaded question. So let's unpack it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's make it be what it is. And also shout out to my friend Maisha with the podcast. Let's talk about it. I'm ready for her to come back. I know she's about to come back and tear it up. So, we're gonna rock with it, see how it goes. So my other topic, or the other title of the show, says check engine. I've been on my grind. I almost was about to mess it up and say, I've been loving you. Then I was like, no, wait. We do not own the rights. If you know, you know. But I've been in grind mode for quite a while. For the past couple of months, it's been just get up, grind, get to it, make things happen, and let the rest come together on its own. In the process of doing that, I've ignored myself, and I've had conversations with people telling me, hey, take some time to yourself. Hey, get away. Hey, unwind. Hey, let your hair down. Like, all of this stuff. And I've been like, all right, I'm going to get to it. I'll do it when I can. I got y'all. It's going to definitely be lit. And yeah, all of those things have come up as topics. But the execution of it has not occurred. enter Monday, I think. Monday, I sit down with a friend of mine who I've known for over a decade, and we talk about, basically we're doing like our weekly accountability sessions of just talking to each other, catching up on life, seeing how things are. She was running into a rough patch. I was running into a rough patch. One of the things that was in my notebook or in my task to work on, which oddly enough, I'm where I am now, but have not yet pulled out my iPad, which is very mind blowing, but we'll get to that in a second. I was given very detailed or specific instructions to take myself on vacation. Cool. I'm going on vacation. Haven't been anywhere in a while. What's convenient? What works? I know. Let's go up the street, as we like to call it. So I'm spending my weekend, for the most part, in Virginia Beach, just kind of unwinding, letting my hair down, connecting with my inner child, kind of resetting, regathering, recollecting, things of that nature. A lot of people, the space I'm staying in is a 2% space, and I say that very mildly, but I truly am glad that I got the time away to just let my hair down and like let loose. And it's well worth it so far. When I got here, like I brought a fair amount of tech, but like the main thing I said was like, I want to edit my show. But then I was like, hold on, I want to actually record a podcast. So here we are. So check engine light is being maintained. There's a lot of stuff that I need to work on while I'm here. There's a lot of ideas I need to gather. And so far, so good. Like I'm good. I'm feeling good. Tomorrow, I think I'll have a more calmer state. I'm likely going to go head to the store because the one thing I haven't picked up that I want to is I usually will pick up a decent pair of sunglasses to just have because it's, it creeps into that summer season. And like the pair I got right now kind of aren't really guy based, but that's me talking out loud. But I want to get a pair that's more comfortable to my liking. So I'm working on that and everything. And just doing things and making content become part of me. And I think the biggest thing lately has been just to not settle, right? Like a lot of times we find ourselves like, I've done these things and I'm good. And it's like, are you good or did you just settle because that's what you thought was considered as quote unquote good? Like we as people have the ability to get a lot of shit done. And sometimes we don't want to get more stuff done because we're just like, I'm happy right where I am. A couple of days ago, I watched a guy do a TikTok and he was joking around, making some different comments, but he made a statement in the process of what like they were talking about. And he was telling his mom, he said, he was like, be consistent. And I was like, damn, that's been the problem. There was a lack of consistency. And so now I'm learning how to be consistent, how to show up for myself, how to make sure I'm the driver. I'm important. So just working through that. Sorry if y'all hear all that. But we will close with this. Love you. Love you enough where you don't need to prove others wrong on the love. Tonight I listened to, or I watched The Pivot, and the special guest was Taylor Rooks. Taylor Rooks already had my respect to begin with, but she has my respect even more because she knows what she's trying to do, and she's not letting anybody stop her from getting to that point. And that's what I want to do, is just do what I know I'm capable of doing and being great at doing it. So we're going to let that be what it's going to be. And like I said, if y'all caught all that audio in the background, my bad. We'll be back. I might do another show while I'm here. I don't know. It's not going to be forced. I know if anything with me, it's always going to be organic. So until next time, this is The Past signing out. And we will be back with yet another episode. Y'all take it easy. Well, that was definitely a fun show. I hope you all learned something. I hope you all gained some information either about myself or about yourselves, because I know with the message that's passed along, it's usually meant to do a little bit of reflection, maybe some shadow work, not sure, all about your niche or lane. But I want to take time and utilize this section to share thank you to anyone who has taken time to listen to the show, to subscribe to the show, to leave any comments, to leave any feedback. If you want to leave any information, the pastbtpod@gmail.com. Podcasts are uploaded using Buzzsprout, probably one of my favorite platforms to be on. And to all my artists, if you know that you have a gift, share that gift with the rest of us because we're waiting. Until next time, this is The Past signing out. Peace.